Welcome. Thank you for joining us for this live streamed Sunday service of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Northfield. My name is Susie Weinbeck, and my husband and I have been members at UUFN for a little over 4 years. UUFN is an inclusive community that nurtures spiritual and intellectual growth and fosters ethical and social responsibility. We're grateful to be gathering both online and in person today, and we extend a warm welcome to everyone, both on Zoom and in the sanctuary. If you are a visitor, we are glad you are with us, and we invite you to stay after the service to get acquainted. We welcome your questions and look forward to hearing about you. We are mindful that we gather today with different needs. Whatever brings you here, you are welcome to come as you are and take what feeds you. Please know that technical difficulties may arise, yet we offer our best efforts, not with the goal of perfection, but to allow us to connect with one another while keeping our community safe.
Good morning, all. I am Reverend Sarah Smalley, and I serve the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Northfield as its minister. It is good to be with you all today. Some of you may have heard my 16-year-old son has COVID, and so we're both isolating here at home. The good news is he has a very mild case and is doing well, and I'm grateful that I can join you on Zoom. I'm wondering today if any of these questions sound familiar, either because they're ones you've asked yourself or have been asked by others. What is Unitarian Universalism? Do you believe in an afterlife? What about the Bible? Are you a cult? Are you Christian? Are you just a liberal social club? Do you believe in God? Is it true UUs can believe anything they want? It is a common experience as a UU to both be curious about and struggle with how to answer these questions. Unitarian Universalism is a different approach to religion, and sometimes it's hard to talk about it eloquently with friends and family members. The service today is about these sorts of questions, or more specifically, two of them. What do Unitarian Universalists believe, and what do I believe? The UUFN members leading today's service were a part of the Articulating Your UU Faith class I taught in February and March. Please know I'll teach it again if there's interest, so you haven't missed out if you're curious about it. In this class, we learned about the 7 principles and the 6 sources and a bit about UU history and theology, but mostly we learned how to talk more effectively about the shared faith of ours and our own individual beliefs. The service today will have some recorded elements and some live, some answers to the questions, what is Unitarian Universalism, and some credo statements of individual members' beliefs. Please be patient as there might be small lags between the different elements of the service. As we move through this time of worship together, I invite you to notice what most resonates for you and energizes you, what most challenges you, and what questions are most present in your own heart. I recognize too that some of us are showing up today feeling exhausted or worried or filled with deep grief. Others are joyful and grateful. Some of us are all of the above. All of who you are is welcome here today as we engage in the sacred task of meaning making. Come, let us worship together.
Well, one of the things we learned a little bit about in this course that Sarah just referred to was about the flaming chalice. This flaming chalice combines two archetypes, a drinking vessel and a flame. It has its roots in World War II when Hans Deutsch, an Austrian artist, designed a logo for the Unitarian Service Committee, which is working to help Eastern Europeans, including some Unitarians and of course Jews, who needed to escape Nazi persecution. A secret network of couriers and agents doing the work of the Unitarian Service Committee needed a symbol to make their papers look official and important, and also to symbolize the spirit of their work during this dangerous time of political instability and fear. The burning oil in the chalice was seen as a symbol of helpfulness and sacrifice, of faith in action, and was made into a seal for papers and a badge for agents moving refugees to freedom. Today, the flaming chalice is the official symbol of the UU Service Committee and the Unitarian Universalist Association. It functions as a logo for hundreds of congregations, including our own, as a deep beacon of light and warmth. Each Sunday, and when we gather, as we are today, we bring this symbol to life together. So please join me in speaking the words on the screen as we light the chalice, the symbol of our faith. Let us open our eyes to see what is beautiful. Let us open our minds to learn what is true. Let us open our hearts to love one another. Please rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, We Laugh, We Cry, verses 1 and 4. The words are on the screen, hopefully. Or 354.
We laugh, we cry, we live, we die, we dance, we sing our song. We need to feel there's something here to which we can belong. We need to feel the freedom just to have some time alone. But most of all, we need close friends we can call our very own. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found a need to be together. We have our hearts to give. We have our thoughts to receive. And we believe that sharing is an answer. We seek elusive answers to the questions of this life. We seek to put an end to all the waste of human strife. We search for truth, equality, and blessed peace of mind. And then we come together here to make sense of what we find. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found a joy being together. And in our search for peace, maybe we'll finally see even to question truly is an answer.
Unitarian Universalist principles are statements about what we know to be true about life and how we and like-minded others agree to be together. The 7 principles are values that help us to live authentically and bind us together. Learn more about the 7 principles in Reverend Sarah's class, Articulating Your UU Faith. And now, listen to the children's version of the 7 principles as you experience a pirate adventure.
I could swing all day. It's easy to pretend in midair. Maybe I'll be Captain Blackbeard, looking for pirates for a sea adventure. If someone else wants to be captain, oh, okay, I'll step down. No matter what, the crew will be loyal, so the booty will be divided evenly. Each sailor is important and deserves some loot. Besides, it's dangerous to be a pirate. Oh, here comes Mikey. Hi, Mikey. Want to be a pirate and go on a sea adventure? You can be Iron Hook Stubbs, in charge of life-saving and firefighting equipment. Thanks, Joel. It's really kind of you to ask me. Most kids ignore or tease me because I'm pretty quiet and kind of shy. Wow, saving lives. That's really cool. I want to be a doctor when I grow up. Hey, there's Patty, swinging high. Maybe she wants to come along. I guess girls can be pirates. Patty, Joel wants us to be pirates.
Really? Well, I do like to swing as high as I can, so maybe I could learn to be your lookout and search for ships carrying rubies and gold and silver coins. There's so many things to do on a pirate ship. We would have to work together, though, and learn our pirate skills. Mikey, isn't that your brother Max? I bet he would like to join the fun. Hey, Max, want to go sailing on the high seas? Joel says you can be One-Eye Fishhawk, and you're in charge of ship maintenance.
Sure. When do we sail? And what are we looking for? Treasure? My dad says buried treasure doesn't exist. I'm not sure that's true. All I know is that kids are really good at finding things. So let's see what happens. Hey, Joel, I'll ask Sarah to join us. She's really good at figuring things out. Sarah, over here.
Hi, Max. If you want me on the pirate adventure, I want to be the ship's captain. It won't be easy getting you buccaneers to work together, but I'm pretty good at listening to people when they have something to say. I can be Salty Sarah. Everyone will have to speak up and state their opinion if we are to get any treasure at all. Look, there's my friend Nick. He's a math wizard, and he could chart our ship's course.
Sarah asked me to chart the pirate ship's course. I don't want to be a pirate. I know it's just for fun, yet being an explorer would be better for all of us. Sailing the 7 seas, looking for people and places that are friendly and who would love to show us how they live and get along. I'll ask Eva from my class what she thinks, pirate or explorer. She's working in a nearby garden close to the park fountain. There she is, Eva.
I'd rather not be a pirate. It would be fun to sail around the world, looking for exotic plants for our park garden. I love to watch things grow. Think of the colorful flowers. Picture ruby red, gold, and silver, just like the colors of pirate treasure.
When I was a boy, each week on Sunday we would go to church and pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word and consecrate the holy bread, and everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. And when I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, and Jesus made the water wine. And I remember feeling sad. Miracles don't happen still, but now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, but an even better magic trick is that anything is here at home. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, it barely wet my fingertips. Now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. It used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down, but I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Child's face, say it's not a testament, that'd be very hard to say. See another new morning come, say it's not a sacrament, I tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood, I saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush and singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. Everything is holy now. It used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down, but I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now.
So we mentioned there might be a few technical difficulties. If that's the only one we have, we're doing great. Now a few of us will share short statements of our own personal beliefs, what we currently think about things like the Bible, religion, and the meaning of life. I'll start with mine, and then a few others will follow. As a UU, I know my beliefs will change throughout my life as I grow in faith. This is what I believe today. I believe in the spirit that connects all life. I believe man has searched to understand this great mystery from the earliest time. Sometimes there is a man such as Jesus who is able to help us to understand the meaning of the spirit particularly well. Other great thinkers have helped our understanding in different ways. I believe there have been miracles of the spirit throughout human history. I believe love is the ultimate meaning of all life. This love and the connectedness brings us all together in community.
My name is John Owens, and these thoughts are my own. And we'll begin with, what do UUs believe? I think it's a facile response to this question to say UUs believe whatever they want to believe. Yes, we do have the freedom to choose to believe what we learn from personal experience, from wisdom traditions, and from the sage words and deeds of our predecessors and contemporaries. I think the boundaries of our belief or non-belief are our UU principles, those grounded in a humanistic regard for the sanctity of all life. It calls us forth to hold a respect for the paths, choices, and cultures of all human beings. This means that we as UUs have a responsibility to call out oppression and injustice in all its forms, to expand our welcoming arms and a bit beyond our comfort zone with loving kindness, and to grow ourselves personally and spiritually. What do I believe? Well, I started attending services at UUFN in 2016. My religious upbringing is Unitarian, though both my parents were or are agnostic or non-religious. So maybe to play it safe or to give my sister and I choice, we attended the Unitarian Society of Ridgewood, New Jersey as youngsters and through my teen years. Now, at the age of 5, I had a vision late one night, staring at the full moon. Suddenly, I saw it dissolve into a swirling dust and in the western sky, and eventually this dust took on the shape of an enormous face. Intuitively, I knew that this vision was a manifestation to me of God. My parents told me I was just dreaming. But from that moment on, I have held an abiding faith that there is a benign power or intelligence that includes all. I am a part of this creative intelligence. Even when I feel unwanted and unlovable, I can always access this intelligent awareness. One other thing I've nearly always believed is that our consciousness is not perishable, but exists beyond the life of the body. I believe that the universe, in its longing to become aware of itself, gives rebirth to each individual particle of its consciousness through reincarnation. Why am I UU? I am UU for many reasons. Chief among them is my belief that the most challenging and rewarding spiritual path for us humans lies in relationships. Each one-to-one relationship is a microcosm of the complex and chaotic web of interconnectedness that is all of creation. And in community, the opportunities to give and receive love, to become more self-aware and compassionate are multiplied. I spoke recently to you about the power of a small group of committed individuals to change the world. Well, I have it pretty good, but millions live virtually voiceless, in poverty and in oppression that robs them in order to feed a few elites that are perpetuating that oppression. How can I live with such disparity and injustice? I stand in this community to amplify my voice and my power to bring about change for the emergence of justice and humanity. One more thing is vitally important to me, that whatever may be of my Jewish heritage, my Hindu beliefs, along with my direct experience of life and meaning, that my spiritual expressions are all held in this community with respect, acceptance, and as a valued voice in the larger community that is committed to the pursuit of truth, knowledge, loving kindness, and peace. That is really important to me, to feel safe and connected and at home in this larger community. Thank you so much for listening. Namaste.
All right, I think I'm next. This is a brief credo statement for me. I used to believe that my culture was the center of the world and that our sacred ancient book was the source of authority and goodness. But now I believe that many cultures have greatness and insights, and there are many valuable allegories in books. And so how do you find the right one for you? Looking at the various traditions and how they have stood with respect to the issues of the ages can help one find the right tradition. Where did a church stand with respect to colonialism? Was it a forced conversion opportunity, or did they stand up for the oppressed? Did they stand up against slavery? Have they pushed for human rights? Do they stand up for, and have they stood for, women's rights? What about civil rights? Do they stand up for democracy, egalitarianism, and the environment? And so in looking across the wide traditions, I find that humanism has been an incredible driving force in the past 500 years, the driving force, in my opinion. And more recently, I've found that the UU principles and practice to be a consistent, strong source on the side of good. Less obscure theology and more standing up for humans and the world. And so I am proud to believe in and stand with the Unitarian Universalist and humanistic traditions. I believe that it is a community with a well-tested compass.
My name is Nita Wolf, and I enjoyed participating in the class and found it really helpful to understand more about UU, and Reverend Sarah did a wonderful job. Today, however, I'm going to read someone else's statement John Bessie is unable to be here today, so I was asked to share this reflection. And this is just partially of what he wrote in John's words. I'm realizing I never believed in traditional Christianity. Since my Mennonite family was shunned, I have always had a problem with exclusion. Thanks to the Articulating Your UU Faith class, I have found a home. I feel accepted to be who I truly am. For instance, I can believe Jesus is human and no one will think I'm weird. I have always believed Jesus never meant to exclude anyone. I believe in nonviolence and have to reconcile my support for the Ukrainian people's fight to be free. Moral truth is situational. I find Unitarian Universalism allows me the freedom to believe in my own truths.
Hi, I'm Brenda. It seems to me to be a bit of an oxymoron to be making a credo statement here when UUs are a creedless religion. But we do, in fact, have our own individual beliefs, even if they are not dictated from on high, not even from the UUA, and not certainly from some holy book. I put holy in quotation marks. But in any case, we do, as I say, have individual beliefs, and so here goes, here are mine. Basically, I believe in two things: life and love. Our song that we sing at the end of our services, Spirit of Life, says it all for me, and it is the only prayer that I pray. I hope, and I wish, and I am thankful, but I do not pray. More about that later. And love is the belief from which all of my other beliefs stem. That is to say, love for our planet and the need to save it from global warming. And it's love for all of our fellow human beings, with the exception of those who wreak violence on other human beings. This means that I believe in universal health care, racial justice, equal opportunity, economic opportunities, and equal rights for all races, genders, and gender identities. It also means love for the beauty in nature and in all forms of art. And I abhor all forms of violence. I also believe in that which is self-evident, such as what my senses tell me is true, and also in the findings of all of the sciences. I believe that if there is a creator God, that he or she does not interfere in life on our planet, and that we must all create our own destinies. I believe that if there is a loving God, he or she would not punish all of those who do not believe in the correct theology, would be punished for eternity in a burning hell. Furthermore, I do not believe in a cosmic bellhop who is ready to answer our prayers and do our bidding Instead, I believe that we must care for each other and for our precious planet. All right. I can see you now. My name is Mary Dorr, and I want to share with you my spiritual journey. And I want to start with a couple of quotations that kind of capsulize where I'm coming from. Joys come from simple and natural things, mist over meadows, sunlight on leaves, the path of the moon over water. Even rain, which we are getting a lot of lately, and wind and stormy clouds can bring us joy. Sigurd F. Olson. And one more quote. The divine communicates to us primarily through the language of the natural world. Not to hear the natural world is not to hear the divine. My spiritual journey has been, in the words of the 1968 Beatles song title, A Long and Winding Road. And gratefully, it has led me to this door, Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Northfield. How was I to know, however, that I was on the path to Unitarian Universalism from an early age, in spite of my Christian upbringings in the Episcopal Church? I had a poster that I proudly hung on my bedroom wall at age 14 that also wraps it up a bit. The direct quote is, "A man who abandons nature has begun to abandon himself." My 14-year-old budding feminist wasn't quite happy about that statement, even though I got the message. And so, in perhaps unbeknownst to me Unitarian ways, I changed the words. And I now read it as, a human who abandons Mother Nature has begun to abandon herself. And little did I know also that that quote was from a man named Pierre van Passen, who was born in the Netherlands in 1895 and actually turned out to be a Unitarian minister that lived until 1968. I was stunned. I remember that poster, and I thought that was from Muir or Emerson or any of those great nature writers. So it was fun to discover that. Early influences of my long and winding road and spiritual journey were greatly influenced by my love of nature and all things outdoors. And in fact, this is a book called Church of the Wild, which has recently been published, How Nature Invites Us into the Sacred. And it's in some ways a Bible to me. As the youngest of 5, born into an already physically and intellectually very active family, I was always on some adventure outside, tagging along with whatever activities my 3 older brothers were up to, or exploring in the woods outside my back door with my loyal dog, Sooty. I was baptized twice, in fact, as a child of God.
once at birth and then once again 3 months later when I nearly died from spinal meningitis. And so, you know, there was a lot of effort to keep me around. My brother, who is a doctor, on my 40th birthday, wrote me a sweet note, and he said, one of the things that we didn't realize was a side effect of the experimental drug that saved your life was this unconditional love for animals in general, and specifically a real passion for the most mischievous and intelligent livestock of all, the goat. I built my 35-year career on that animal and have loved it ever since. But nevertheless, from a young Episcopalian with a healthy dose of guilt and shame, and never feeling really in tune with the exclusive male pronouns of liturgy and prayers, and that image of a rather harsh and unpleasant older man sitting on a throne, always judging me if I was good or not. I just never felt at home in my early childhood Christianity experiences. Where I found my home was in the outdoors, finding peace, beauty, and much more serenity as I learned to travel by canoe as a young person, as a YMCA camper in the Boundary Waters, and not only taking in that beauty, but gaining my confidence and my personal strength and hearing my inner voice for a change that really, I guess, shaped my appreciation of not only the natural beauties of the world, but also the comradeship that I had in my groups that I belonged with, and just I don't know, just that appreciation. So that shaped my beliefs, and then Quakerism also shaped some of my beliefs when I first moved down to this area and was befriended by Mac and Margaret McCutcheon, who were Quakers that really taught me the value of the dignity, or sorry, the divine in each of us. And that seemed like a very palatable, worthwhile way to view others. Buddhist philosophy also shaped me. I practiced transcendental meditation for years, and basically also created a lot of rituals around the equinox and the solstice on the farm that I owned and operated for 35 years, which attracted kindred spirits and created community. And then one day, mentioning to a friend who asked me more deeply about my beliefs, and I answered, I'm basically a spiritual mutt. I was born Episcopalian. I found more beauty and peace and gratitude in nature. I explored Quakerism. I found my own acceptance of self, love, when I could embrace my sexuality as a lesbian. I appreciated Buddhist philosophy. And that friend rather casually responded, oh, you sound like a Unitarian Universalist to me. And so my winding path led me to the doors of UUFN in December of 2005. The current reverend at the time was Ted Tollefson. I walked in that door as he was putting on a Christmas play with the kids that was very much nature-based. And he looked like my brother. There was just this sense of community and warmth and acceptance and love that exuded from that room. And I read the 7 principles, and I really realized I knew this was my home. And Now, 17 years later, I'm still proud to say I love being here. Oh, let me introduce. Yeah. Okay. So now that you have heard from a number of us about our personal beliefs, we want to share a video with you about what unites us as Unitarian Universalists. While it's hard to summarize an entire religion in 3 minutes, this video does a good job of articulating the heart of our UU faith.
We are Unitarian Universalists. We are people of many paths who are brave, curious, and compassionate thinkers and doers. Every day, people are inundated with information, overwhelmed by demands, and pulled by a culture that seeks to divide us from the web of life. Unitarian Universalism reconnects, bringing people together with meaning and inspiration. We are a house without walls, a congregation without spiritual limits, and a movement that calls you to put more faith in yourself, your community, and your beliefs. We are a faith that honors your mind, your heart, your journey. Simply put, we are a guided path towards a better you and a better world. Grounded in hundreds of years of thoughtful, religious communities, we are people of many generations, ethnicities, genders and sexualities, and spiritual backgrounds. People engaged in making the world a better place. People focusing on what really matters: love, justice, integrity, and hope. Unitarian Universalists have different beliefs, but shared values. We are Unitarian Universalists, and at the same time, we may also be agnostic, Buddhist, Christian, Hindu, humanist, Jewish, Muslim, pagan, atheist, believers in God, and those who let the great mystery be. The diversity of beliefs you'll find in a Unitarian Universalist community is one of our strengths. We are always learning how to see the world from a different perspective. What unites us are our core principles that uphold 7 real-world values: believing in the worthiness of every person, showing compassion and fairness, accepting others for who they are, growing through a personal search for truth, leading with democratic spirit, working for justice, and understanding that everything is interconnected. 7 days a week, Unitarian Universalists live these principles by doing. When we gather, we worship, reflect, and remind ourselves what matters most in life. Whatever our age, we learn to live with more wisdom, more awareness, more gratitude, and more soul. We show our values by showing up to answer the call for social justice. We have a track record of siding with love for civil rights, LGBTQ equality, immigration reform, environmental sustainability, reproductive justice, racial justice, and more. Find what it means to live your deepest values out loud. Join us on this extraordinary adventure of faith.
I'd like to thank all the people that did their credo statements. Wonderful jobs. Thank you for your deep thinking and inspirational words. And like was mentioned earlier, the service was a result of the class Sarah taught, and I was a member also. And I hope the rest of you, or many of you, get a chance to take that class if it's offered again. It's really, really wonderful. Please rise in body and spirit with mass if you're in the sanctuary, as we join in singing our hymn of affirmation for all that is our life.
For all that is our life, we sing our
turn our attention now to the wider world as we take our offertory. Our recipient this month is UU the Vote 2022. UU the Vote is organizing on the state and local levels to fight for fair elections, advance voting rights, protect abortion access, and resist the targeting and criminalization of Black, Indigenous, and people of color communities. There is so much at stake in 2022 midterm elections. Together, our communities can address the current threats to our democracy and human dignity. You may contribute right now online by going to our website, uunorthfield.org, clicking on the yellow donate button on the right-hand column, and then selecting Share the Plate. Or you can mail a check made payable to UUFN with offering basket written on the memo line. Separate checks marked UUFN Pledge are also welcome. If you are at our church building, please put cash or a check, again made out to UUFN with offering basket on the memo line in the basket. As always, thank you for giving as you are able. Our closing words are number 459 in our hymnal, written by William F. Schultz, former executive director of Amnesty International and former president of the Unitarian Universalist Association. This is the mission of our faith, to teach the fragile art of hospitality, to revere both the critical mind and the generous heart, to prove that diversity not mean divisiveness, and to witness to all that we must hold the whole world in our hands. I invite everyone here in the sanctuary to gather in a wide circle to sing our final hymn.
With
Please join me as we extinguish our chalice. You will see the words on the screen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Go in peace.